Champions Cup Friday games this weekend. There's 2 games on this Friday rather than just the one. Leinster and Connacht are back at it, and likewise Bristol and Sale. Remembering that this is only essentially the halftime point we're at the moment. Both these games still kind of in the balance, but interestingly, both the away teams last week managed to take a lead heading into this second leg. So we'll start with the first one, Leinster up against Connacht, though it was 26-21 last week, so Leinster have a wee lead. Going into this one, Connacht need to win by 6 points or more if they're going to proceed to the next round. Leinster, any win or a narrow loss will do for them. They've made a few changes, have Leinster, and probably changes for the better, I guess, in terms of just bringing in some international depth, man. You get to bring in Andrew Porter back at loose head, Ronan Gallagher back at hooker, alongside Tyler Furlong, so it's that all-Irish front row. Maloney Murphy still there in the second row. Doris van der Fleer Conan is an unchanged back row, although Rhys Ruddock is in on the bench. Jamison Gibson Park, who got cited, but then cleared for that tackle. So it was one of those ones last week that was really borderline. But he's been cleared, so he gets to start at 9. Sexton's there at 10. Remember, he got the yellow card last week, so by the citing, I mean they had to answer the question, did it deserve a red card? So they asked the question, which if it had not been close, wouldn't have even been asked. But there you go. Henshaw and Ringrose in the midfield, O'Brien and Lowe the wings, and then Keenan at fullback. So it's only a little bit of tinkering. McGrath drops to the bench. Sheehan drops to the bench from last week. Otherwise, things are pretty steady as she goes. So it's maybe even a slightly stronger Leinster side than played last week. Connacht likewise have tinkered just a little bit. Caelan Blade gets to start ahead of Kieran Marmion, so they swap places, and then Johnny Murphy and Dennis Buckley come in on the bench. Otherwise, the lineup's pretty much the same, man. Mac Hansen, John Porge, Tiernan O'Halloran, the outside backs, they all performed pretty admirably last week. Aki and Tom Farrell in the midfield. Cardi still at number 10. It's pretty much the same lineup. So it was closer than I think a lot of people predicted it to be last week, although that was Connacht at home. So away, Leinster, you can guarantee you're going to be big-time favourites to get the job done. But sports are funny like that, so you got to be in it to win it. Last week, interestingly, Leinster managed to kind of control the possession and territory. They clocked up more run meters and whatnot, but Connacht, when they had the ball, were dangerous, man. They had more clean breaks despite less possession. So the clean breaks last week was 7-5. So I certainly won't be writing them off, but it's an uphill battle away from home at Leinster, that's for sure. The bookies are saying Leinster by 22, and the algorithm's saying Leinster by 27. So it's supposed to be a proper hiding. But I seem to remember it was a similar prediction last week, and look at the scoreline. So we will see how things go. I look forward to seeing how that one plays out. It's at the Aviva. It's on at 5:30, I believe. Luke Pearce is the referee. The second one, Bristol and Sale. I didn't watch this one in full last week, remember, because people basically said this was pretty dire to watch. It was just the one try to run Randra in it. It was a 1-point ball game, so it's still very much all to play for. This week, Bristol have obviously got that 1-point lead, which is better than nothing. But it's almost like a fresh game this week as they start the second leg. Fingers crossed it's a wee bit more entertaining than last week. But as I said, it's a fresh start, so maybe we'll get a fresh result. Bristol have made a couple of changes. Morahan's moved to the right wing. Rich Lane's come in at fullback. Jake Kerr's come in at hooker. Some of the big guns like Pietau, Radraja, Luatua, they're still on the bench. So Bristol fans will have to let me know what's the deal with that. Is he just kind of holding these guys back as strike weapons for the end of the game, or is it more giving them a wee rest as we head back into the Premiership in a short time? I mean, still, it's a pretty tidy-looking side. Leo is starting, Chris Vui's starting, Nathan Hughes is starting, you got Sheedy and Randall, so it's not exactly like a poor Bristol side. It's just, some of the more well-paid guys are riding the pine, which is unusual. For Sale, Roebuck's come in on the right wing. And there's about as many Dupreas as you will see in any lineup ever, with Jean-Luc at 6, Dan at 8, Rob at 10, and then there's JP Duprea on the bench. That's a whole lot of Duprea. Aka van der Merwe is still at hooker, and he is one of your more dynamic ball-carrying hookers that you'll ever see. Good to see him back fit, so hopefully he gets a good crack. Likewise, Tuilangi's still in the midfield, so that's kind of happy days. He's keeping Rohan Janse van Rensburg riding the pine as well. So that's an intimidating couple of midfielders either way you look at it. So yeah, it's on at Ashton Gate. This one, it's 8 p.m. kickoff, so it's a late one. Frank Murphy is the ref. Last week, Bristol had more possession. Sale more turnovers conceded. So make of that what you will. Sale's turnovers conceded was horrendous, like 23 in the game. Way too many. If Sale can hold the ball, maybe they'll get a better result. But as I said, Bristol had more of it last week. The bookies have got Bristol by 3, whereas the Rugby Forecast algorithm has got Sale by 1. So that one's actually a split. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts. Both games were relatively close last week. Do you see them being close at all this week? The latter is probably predicted to be a lot closer, as I mentioned. But yeah, we look forward to seeing the 2 Premiership teams and the 2 Irish URC teams go up against each other. You guys let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you guys again soon. See you later.